The Alouette 1 was built by NASA. It was a Canadian-built satellite and was the first satellite built by a country other than the Soviet Union or the United States. Alouette 1 was designed and constructed at the DRTE in Ottawa. It took about 3.5 years to produce the Alouette. The proposal and the structural design took up most of this time spent. The Alouette 1 was successfully launched by NASA from the Pacific Missile Range in California. The Alouette 1 and 2 were sent into space for the same reason. It went to study the ionosphere. This picture represents the upper atmosphere, which is called the ionosphere, and what occurs in it. 10 nations were mind-blown from the observations and theories that the Alouette 1 has discovered. Those 10 nations decided to get into the process with the Alouette 1. They helped by constructing and designing or providing capital for the production of the Alouette. Scientists have found many data about the Alouette 1, but to narrow them down to 3 major findings that has changed technology, they are: 1. Understanding has been cleared about the variety of electromagnetic radiations coming from free energy sources in space or on the ground. 2. A variety of short wavelength electrostatic waves requiring Hall plasma concepts and sometimes the consideration of large signal nonlinearity for their explanation have been documented. And finally, number 3, data from ionograms allow for comparison due to space weather and changes to the ionosphere. Some points include density, temperature, and the altitude. Overall, the Alouette has made a significant difference on society, technology, and the space environment. This shows Alouette 1 in space. Alouette 2 was a Canadian satellite built and designed by the Canadian Defence Research Telecommunications Establishment and the National Research Council. The Alouette was designed and constructed at the DRT in Ottawa. The Alouette 2 and 1 were designed and built at the same place. The Alouette 2 was a backup for the Alouette 1. When the Alouette 1 was originally built, the Alouette 2 was also built in case any malfunctions occurred. But in 1965, the Alouette 2 was released as Alouette 2. The Alouette 2 was launched into space for the same reason. It went to study the ionosphere. The Alouette 2 was in space for 10 years before being terminated in 1975. They only did this to celebrate its 10 years anniversary with Alouette 1. The Alouette 2 was launched into orbit at 4:48 UTC on November 29, 1965, in the same location, Vandenberg, AFB in California. The Alouette 2 was sent into orbit for the same reasons for the Alouette 1. It studied electron densities, altitude, space weather, and all sorts of things like that. I believe that the Alouette 1 and Alouette 2 have made a significant difference on the space world, technology, and overall our society. This shows Alouette 2 in space.